Hello. Welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigation. Oh god, I hope my internet survives again. It's been giving me grief. Quite a lot of it recently. Hello, hi Jupiter. Man. I was gonna say what a week and then do the like, it's only Wednesday bit, but it is in fact Friday. It has in fact been a week. Nerd. Anyway, investigations. It's getting investigating. Yippee! I don't remember how much of this case is left. I think there might be a chance we go into the next one. Not sure. Here we are again. Let's hope we can find something this time that will finally reveal the truth behind it all. Although that might be easier said than done.
There's nothing left to investigate.
Judge Gavel's deduction yesterday. There was another possibility. One you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there? In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop. At some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint? Had Knight's body really been thrown down the well? So true, the well by the crane wives. The answer to that question will surely show us the way forward. But before we begin, I should tidy up my organizer a little. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Remaining evidence has been rearranged. Thank God.
Let's see here. Huh. There's a cover on it.
A dried up well slap bang in the middle of a prison? Figures it'd be locked.
Luckily, I'm a master lockpicker. Want me to do my stuff?
I think not. We'll do this investigation by the book.
Come on, don't be such a stick in the mud. Whoa.
What is it, Kay?
The lock's broken. And from the looks of it, it's been broken for a long time.
If that's the case, then anyone could have thrown Knight's body down the well. Judge Gavel's theory that Mr. Saint carried out the murder here in the yard. And then during the performance, he threw the body down the well. What are you thinking, Miles Areno? Plausible or no? Master Lockpicker, Giant Keeper Hairpin checks out. Yeah, it does check out. This too is Isomnium Files Nirvana Initiative.
Oh, why don't we see if Missile can help us out again? He'll be able to tell us if Mr. Knight's body was here and which way it went.
Good idea. I'll call Detective Gumshoe. Gumshoe speaking. Detective, I need your assistance. Miles Areno. I'm obsessed with Fender's nicknames. Come to the prison yard and bring Missile with you. You bet, sir. Gumshoe, 7 secret weapons to the rescue again, huh? I'm fairly sure Missile belongs to the precinct. I'd also like you to bring one of their witnesses. Our witnesses, whoops. Call the Berry Big Circus and ask Miss Regina Berry to come down here with you. Yay, more Regina! Yes, sir, I'll be there before you know it.
So, what should we do while we're waiting for Gummy? How about a quick game of hide and go seek?
An idea, kiddo, but where exactly would we hide? In the well, obviously. He's not seriously considering it. Your game can wait, Kay. We need to call on one of your more practical skills. I think you know the one.
Oh, you bet I do. One crime scene recreation coming right off.
Say what now?
Let me show you. Introducing a great thief's great secret weapon, Little Thief. Yay, animated.
Whoa, screens appearing from thin air? This is some next level tech, little sis. Want to talk me through the deets? What are you doing now?
I'm inputting everything we need for the simulation.
Allow me to explain. This is Mr. Thief. It's a device that can recreate crime scenes at specific moments in time based on the data. Probably says data, based on the data you feed it.
How about I start us off with a recreation of what the yard looked like yesterday?
Good idea. That was when they were in the middle of tearing down the stage. We didn't pay much attention to the well then. Who knows? We may have overlooked something.
Leave it to me. I'll use the photo I took. Beepity beep boop beep. That's all the data. Just gotta pump the projection power to max and... Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing. One alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood.
Oh, she's so cute. Okay, yipes. What is this?
It's a recreation of how things were yesterday, modeled on the data I gave Little Thief. This gadget was a tool used by the original Yatagarasu,
I don't know why I said it so aggressively American that time.
but they used it to plan robberies.
Well, there's no harm in using it for something on the right side of the law now.
Oh, but keep in mind that it can only recreate what you tell it to. It can't simulate things it doesn't have data for, and if the data itself contains mistakes, then you'll wind up with those same mistakes in the recreation too.
But this particular recreation is based on case photos, so we shouldn't run into any problems. That's enough preamble. And now, the amble. Shall we get started?
Don't forget, you can examine stuff in the recreation just like in real life. You can also present evidence to try and clear up any inconsistencies you find.
Of course. Thank you for the reminder. Now, let's take a look at that well. Let's get a closer look at that well. Hello. There we go. A Little Thief. This really is Nirvana Initiative all over again. Or rather, it's backwards. Dropping this investigation into Matt's mode. We should examine this area carefully. It may just hold the clue we need. I don't remember if these highlights were around all the pieces of evidence before. I assume they were. I don't remember this section very well because this this section of the game is where the emulator started to eat itself. Whoops, what are a bunch of police doing here? They don't seem to be police for lifting buckets. There's a sturdy-looking hemp rope lying on the ground.
Kinda reminds me of the ropes we used for playing tug-of-war in school.
The answer is no, Kay.
What? I didn't even say anything! Yet.
I see it also has a metal stake attached to one end.
Oh yeah, it looks like something you'd use to put up a tent.
But there was no tent, was there? In which case, what was it used for? It's a metal weight of some kind. It looks like it weighs... The projection makes it a little tricky to read. Do you remember how heavy it was, Kay?
Sure, it was 30 pounds.
I'm apparently allergic to it. Anyway, I'm counting that as a hint that Edgeworth needs glasses this early on.
What does anyone need such a heavy weight for anyway?
It doesn't seem related to the circus show at any rate. Let's look at the well. The well was behind the stage, which means... there aren't many people who could have thrown Knight's body down it during the show. This is looking worse and worse for Mr. Saint.
So, what do you think all the stuff around the well was used for? I can't see any of the animals needing them for their part of the performance.
Indeed. Nothing immediately strikes me as a likely purpose. We'll have to ask Miss Barry later. Yes, this is where the circus show stage stood. Circus show stage stood.
Do you think people would be interested in a great thieving show?
I'm sure the police would be very eager to attend. Let her steal. These chairs must have been for the audience. Is this just the same dialogue? This is the same dialogue from last time. Okay. Actually, what is an organizer anymore? Well, that's not the organizer, that's the... Wait, can I connect these? I didn't think so. Why isn't that up? I'd better think again. Or not. Anyway, what is in my organizer now? I love how they were like, oh, we're going to organize all the evidence, and there's still 3 full pages. Cause of death, stab wound, instant death from a stab wound. That casual, or that classic method of dying that always happens. I cannot believe they did 2 instant death from stab wounds in Ace Attorney investigations. Let's look at this chisel.
This bell is the same as the one on Helmet's collar, right?
Yes, the bell is something of a trademark for Mr. Canis.
An assassin with a trademark? You'd think he'd want to stay anonymous.
Isn't that true of great thieves, too?
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you don't know anything about great thieving, do you? Great thieves are only great because they stand out from the crowd.
And what's in it for the thief to stand out like that other than to attract the police's attention? He doesn't get it. Okay, anything else in there? No. Mr. Canis hid this chisel in the dog's mouth.
Do you think it's our murder weapon, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's too early to tell, but the fact that blood was found on it is certainly incriminating. At the very least, it's not something we can discount as unrelated to the case. Can we look in here? Nope. Okay, that's it for that. Bell? Nope. Yep, that's it. Okay. Let's look around. Basket. A wicker basket, or rather a cart given the wheels.
Hey, wouldn't it be— oh, it's the same dialogue again. Had me fooled.
He wants to roll down a hill in a cart. We know this. Anything about Isaiah? What was the name of our trunk happy friend again?
Isaiah the Asian elephant.
Of course. How could I forget? Not exactly inspired, though, is it? Was Miss Berry having an off day when she came up with it?
Oh my gosh, Mr. Edgeworth, not in front of the poor elephant herself.
I suspect that's all there is for now. Detective Gumshoe should be here soon, too. Okay, you can power down Mr. Thief now.
Sure thing. Prepare to return to normality.
They really have you do the entire Little Thief demonstration for one, like, well, I guess the well, too. But just to do the well and examine the elephant. Sorry, sir. Came as quick as I could.
Yay! Ha! Speak of the devil.
Ah, detective. That was indeed impressively quick. You know me, sir. Never did like to keep you waiting. You're so nice, Gumshoe. You're the best.
Thanks for coming all this way too, Regina. No problem. This seemed way more fun than rehearsals, so I ditched them for the day.
It's very much appreciated. The sound of her jumping is killing me. All right, detective, let's get started with Missile.
Oh no, he's growling. Oh no.
Yes, sir. Hey, Missile, over here, boy. Here's how Gumworth can still win, you're so right. What's the matter? Come on, boy, come on.
Oh no, he borked.
What's wrong with him? Looks like he's scared of something, sir. Alligator! Guess he's not a fan, sir. Well, I doubt he'll be of much help to us like this. Any other bright ideas, Miles Areno? Yes, actually. Miss Berry, would you mind lending us a hand? The gator.
I'd love to. Just tell me what you need. Do you want me to teach Allie some tricks?
I don't doubt she could do it, but nothing quite like that. I'd simply like an account of what the yard looked like during the show.
I like where this is going. You're thinking of using Little Thief again, am I right?
If you'd be so kind.
Look at him. His tail. Look at him. No, I want to look at him. Okay, I've plugged in all the data. Firing up the simulation. Yay! Baby boy, look at his little nose. Here you go. This is what the yard was like during the show.
The time at which the body was purported to have been thrown down the well.
Oh wow, this is so amazing! It's like magic! No magic here, just sweet, sweet data. Which is why...
The area behind the stage is missing.
Yeah, Regina said she wasn't involved in getting the stage set up. So we don't have any data on what it was like back there.
No data, no simulation, huh? Brutal.
I'm so sorry, you guys. It's all because I let Simeon do everything by himself.
Oh, no. It's all my frilly associate's fault. Objection, Fender.
Anyway, we got a fresh simulation now, but we still have the other data too. I can switch back whenever you want to do the recreation of them taking down the stage.
So we can examine the scene both during and after the show. And switch between the two at will. I can switch between the recreations by using T to talk with K. Now then, let's continue our investigation, shall we?
Miss Cinna!
Hi. Welcome back to hell. Oh, God.
Hey, Missile. Oh, no!
It's as bad as it looks, sir. Poor little guy's scared out of his skin. He's scared. Poor little guy's scared. I'd hope to have him track that scent again, but that clearly isn't in the cards now. Oh, poor guy. Look at him.
Look at him. Oh, yeah, we get to talk to Gumshoe.
Don't say a word, sir. I know just what you're looking for. It's written all over your face.
It is?
This'll may be temporarily out of action, but my fishing rod is good to go whenever you need it. Oh, and if you want to give the metal detector a shot, I have that too.
I've never seen him so excited. I'll be sure to let you know if I need either of them, Detective.
So do you come to visit the prison often, Regina? I sure do. I have so many little friends here. It's wonderful. And they're all such sweeties. The old faces and the new.
Close enough, welcome back to my goodbyes.
I made a new friend only yesterday. Allie is just the cutest.
Cute? That full-grown alligator lurking in the depths of the pond?
Are you sure about that? I can't help worrying you would just walk up and then chomp, you know? Oh, don't be silly. She'd never do anything like that. Especially since she's not doing great. I heard she hasn't been herself since yesterday. I'm so worried about her. You guys are worried too, right?
I'm worried. I'm worried, Regina.
Right? Yeah, totally. Super worried. Right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes. Super. Don't rope me into this. I can't look at that because it would appear that we're missing some data for this point in time.
Yep, that's about the size of it. You gotta go steal us some data.
I don't steal data, Kay. I use logic and deduction to get what I need.
Well, I'm more of an act first, think later gal.
Please don't add to my workload with your recklessness. Bitch from California. I would hate to have to order your arrest. Let's look at the chairs. Chairs are nicely leaned up. Son of a bitch. The chairs are nicely... What the fuck am I saying? The chairs are lined up neatly for the show. Though we know there were a few empty seats during the performance.
Something about this space. The way the seats are arranged. Reminds me of a karaoke contest I entered as a kid.
You entered a karaoke contest?
I sure did, and I came in second. Even in the depths of night, where no other bird dares to take flight, one alone soars to shine the light of righteousness on the world's blight. I'm not making up a tune for that.
Tell me you didn't actually sing that.
I sure did.
You did well to take second place. Or perhaps stole is more apt? Or is it more that she failed to steal first place? I'm overthinking this. So stupid. Hey, Eddie. The great thief's great secret weapon. Color me intrigued, Miles Areno. Not exactly by the book stuff, though, yeah? Using great thief doodads in an official investigation? Whoa, enough with the death stares, Chief. I'm cool, okay? I can keep a secret. Anything for the truth, am I right? It's possible that vital evidence has already been destroyed. Without Kay's reproduction of the scene, we have no hope of finding it. Hey, relax. Like I said, I'll just zip it and nod politely while you cats do your thing. Thank you. That would be very helpful. Jesus. This pond is home to Warden Lagarde's beloved alligator.
And look, those bones must be from her latest meal.
I somewhat doubt an alligator would pick a carcass clean like that.
You think? I got the feeling she was rather ladylike in her own way, actually.
If you say so.
Well, I do. I kind of have a sixth sense for these things.
An interesting talent, though not one I'm particularly envious of. It's the pen that held Isaiah, the Asian elephant. Now empty as the lady herself is on stage.
I wonder how they got her in here in the first place.
What do you mean?
Well, the entrance to the yard is people-sized. And there's like a gazillion megawatts pumping through that fence. Kinda risky, no?
Not if one turned off the electricity.
Yeah, but then all the prisoners would escape.
Through an entrance blocked by an elephant? I think not.
This is a real puzzler, all right. I'll need to give it some more thought.
She seems to be enjoying the challenge. I'll leave her to it. The basket was empty in the other recreation.
Oh yeah, but it was definitely empty in the photo I took too. Oops, sorry, I made a mistake when I was filling you in earlier.
Oh?
That basket's for holding Isaiah's food, but on the morning of the show, all the apples that were in it had vanished. Poof! I totally forgot to mention it. Sorry.
Disappearing apples. I should make a note of this. Disappearing apples! Gonna start a band called Disappearing Apples.
Story of forbidden love between a tiger and an elephant. Wish I could have seen it. Wish I could have seen Simeon up there on the stage too. Oh, he was wonderful! The way he flew off that stage.
Yes, that scene. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage. Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. And you're saying the crime took place during that time? Roughly how long would you say Mr. Saint was off stage for, Miss Mary?
Let's see. I guess it was around 15 minutes?
Just as Judge Gabel said. Isn't it pretty hairy health and safety-wise having an elephant fling a guy off the stage?
Not at all. Isaiah's very gentle.
I'm not sure if it changes much if she flings him gently or roughly.
Too gentle, in fact. When we first rehearsed it, she barely nudged him. But by the end, he was flying off that stage. Not because of Isaiah, though. Simeon had figured out some kind of trick, apparently. Isn't that amazing?
A trick? Do you have any idea what kind of trick?
Who, me? Oh no, it was Simeon's big thing. I wouldn't know where to start.
Totally normal things about Normal things to think about a circus act. I don't know how he did that. He just sort of, he just flew, that's it. Okay, what brain cells do we have? You know what it is? Mr. Saint's big moment. Aha! Unless it's the... It might be the pulley instead, but I'll try this first. Damn it. Items around the well, Mr. Saint's big moment. There we go. The trick Mr. Saint performed for his big scene. Could it have something to do with all the items we found by the well? Okay, I'd like to have another look at the equipment around the well from yesterday. Can you have Mr. Thief bring up the recreation from when they were tearing down the stage?
You got it.
I love that he consistently calls it Mr. Thief incorrectly. Taking another look at these items. Could they not have been used for this trick of Mr. Saint's?
Sounds plausible enough. Hey, maybe I could add it to the simulation.
Good idea. Please go and ask Mr. Saint for the details.
Roger that. I'll be right back.
I love that it's a continuation of his stupid Mr. Monkey bit. Or Mrs. Monkey. I don't remember what the wrong one was. I'm pretty sure it was Mrs. Monkey that was wrong. I love watching Miles Edgeworth fuck up.
I'm back, and he told me exactly how he did it.
Excellent. Well, how does it work?
He said he used the pulley at the top of the well to suspend a heavy weight from a rope and lowered that down into the well.
Psycho logs?
The other end of the rope went through 2 more pulleys.
I think psycho locks is like actually what they're called in Japanese too. It's either Japanese or it's the French localization.
And was tied around his body.
I see. So he used the downward pull of the weight to help him launch himself into the air. He's very smart except for when he's stupid! And that's the best part. But how did he make sure the weight only dropped when he wanted it to?
He used a stake to stop it, and that's how.
Miss Berry didn't seem to know anything about the trick or the contraption he built for it. In which case, I suppose it must have been Mr. Saint himself who pulled out the stake.
That's right, and to do that, he used a second length of rope.
Fuck off. I want to talk about, did it? I don't think it caught on it didn't. Okay. So, I just got a spam bot, but I need y'all to know that the spam bot was named Crushed Cravat. What are the odds? What are the odds that that happens? Guys. Anyway.
He tied it to the stake, and then, when he gave it a sharp tug...
Stake was released, and the weight dropped down the well.
It's a great trick. I'll have to steal it. This one has to go in the Great Thief's repertoire.
It may not be quite that easy. These kinds of circus tricks can require years of practice to master. Simply stealing the idea won't be enough.
Alright, practice it is then.
It does say Crushed Cravat, yeah. Like, I'm sure those names are just like auto-generated, but that's a really funny one to get. It's like a Pop Tropica name. Well, before you run away to do so, would you mind updating the simulation?
Oh, right. Then we can all see how it worked for ourselves. Okay, I'm switching back to the recreation of the performance.
Whoop, crushing the cravat.
And now to add in the data. Little Thief should be able to reproduce the trick now.
So this is how Mr. Saint performed his trick.
Ugh, I'm sneezy. Simeon's full of surprises, huh? I mean, dropping a weight down a well to help him fly off the stage like that? That's genius!
Indeed. But I imagine he would have needed quite a lot of weight. More than him at the very least. Shout out to my favorite, original character from the Ace Attorney stage plays, Audrey Hepburn. Everybody should watch Turnabout Spotlight. It would have taken some serious pull to lift him into the air like that.
Yeah, and probably a ton of practice.
Wait. This tarp, it's just like the one we saw in the workshop.
This tarp, it's just like the one we saw in the workshop.
Yes. But why is it here?
But why is it here? Are you okay, Mr. Edgeworth? You've gone kind of blank.
And I intend to stay blank until you stop stealing my thoughts. And I intend to stay blank. The sillies.
That's one heavy weight. Kinda makes you think how much this must all be weighing on Simeon.
It does? I'm not sure I quite see it myself.
Oh? Too bad we don't have the real thing here. Otherwise, I'd hang it from around your neck like a big old albatross. Then we'll see how you like it.
You'd face some stiff resistance if you tried, I can promise you that. Mr. Saint used the well to construct a contraption that would send him flying from the stage. It made clever use of 2 ropes. I think that's everything here. Yes. I don't think we can deduce within Little Thief, which is a weird. The more playing, replaying Investigations, I'm realizing how like kind of bizarre a lot of the gameplay is. Hold on, do I have any other brain cells to connect? Why do we have to connect this? Like, oh. This might not connect because of... Oh no, it does, okay.
Wait, doesn't this seem odd to you?
No. You haven't noticed, Detective. There's something strange about the weight we found.
How heavy it is, it's only 30 pounds.
The one weight on its own wouldn't be heavy enough. A single 30-pound weight couldn't have lifted Mr. Saint off the ground. Oh yeah. In which case, could there perhaps be some weights missing? Sounds like a job for my 7 secret weapons, sir. Should the need to use them arise, I suppose I should speak with him then. Hey, you know what we should do? You know what we should do? You know what probably... You know what it probably was? The apples. I don't know if it'll let us connect them, but... Yeah, no, it won't. But I think we do need to fish something out of the, I think we do need to fish something out of the well, if I remember correctly. And we cannot do that yet, apparently.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, she can talk about Little Thief. You remember how Little Thief works, right?
Yes, it creates a simulation I can interact with and investigate like a real crime scene.
That's right. Just go around and poke at anything you find interesting. Oh, but don't forget that if the inputted data is wrong, then the recreation will be wrong too. If you see something weird, try presenting evidence to clear it up.
Right. Actually, I'm still not very familiar with the new feature you just mentioned.
It's nothing complicated, but it lets you switch between different recreations. So the 2 we got programmed right now are... Scene as it was during the show 2 days ago, and when they were tearing down the stage yesterday.
I should remember to talk to Kay again if I need to switch recreations. Well, let's switch recreations.
I want to see. Alright, you want me to change the recreation to yesterday's stage teardown?
Look at her.
Here you go. This is how things looked when they were taking down the stage.
Damn it. Okay. What are we doing? Do-do-do-do. The store appears to be locked.
Want me to open it? Can't guarantee anything, but I'll certainly give it a try.
No, if we deem it necessary, we will simply ask for the key.
Spoil sport. That could have been my chance to shine.
Feel free to shine somewhere else, but you'll not make an audience out of me. Do they have any other brain cells I can connect actually while I'm here? Is they, disappearing apples? No. Metal detector. Rather show insufficient weight. No. Yeah. Do. Doesn't help that I do not remember. Because, okay. I'm like, logically. The disappeared apples are the additional weight, right? Actually, K-switch back. No. No. Oh, wait, that's fun. Hold on. Proper point and click Edgeworth. You can make him run around. Anyway. Switch back. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing else for us to look at here right now. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't want us to deduce. It wants us to present things to... How do I...
Doesn't the sight of a well just set your heart racing? It could be a secret passage, it could be haunted.
I fear you've been watching too much television. Anyway, more importantly than that, do you have any thoughts about Mr. Saint's trick?
I do indeed. The only thing more exciting than a well is a well fitted with a cool contraption.
That's great, Kay. How do I... Gumshoe, are you gonna let us work on the... How do we... How do I use... Is that not it? Surely we're not supposed to... Right? That doesn't make sense. Why do we have to connect those? The apples in the basket were likely eaten by Isaiah. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's a mystery we have to solve right now.
Really? That's strange. I made sure to put the cart where her trunk couldn't reach them.
Are you sure about that?
Oh yes, it was still full of apples the night before the show.
Then we must consider the possibility that the cart was moved to somewhere within Isaiah's reach. A large basket full of apples couldn't have been moved by the wind. Which likely means somebody moved it for a reason. Okay, now can we do the thing? So before the show had even started, the cart had been moved and its apples eaten. Yes, that seems to be the most probable timeline. Let's update the recreation, Kay.
Will do. I'll add that to the simulation of the performance then. Updating based on what Regina told us now. There, hold on.
Little wonder it smelled of animals. It was being used for the elephant.
The whole Isaiah's apples, right? Yep, it was full of them the day before the show.
So they vanished overnight.
Ooh, did you figure something out, Mr. Edgeworth?
Quite possibly. Where is the brain cell button? Insufficient weight. Basket of apples. What? That's not quite right. Gumshoe, help. Gumshoe. Gumshoe, can you help us now? No, he can't. Are you kidding me? Hold on, okay. What brain cells do we have? Insufficient weight, basket of apples. Basket was moved to someone by someone the night before the show. Metal detector. Door appears to be locked. Is it not that it was the apples? What are we doing? Do I have to look over here again? No, we're done here. We have to switch to the other... Switch. Go down. Let's look at the basket. Nope. Already did that. Did we figure something out? Because I don't know what it is. What in the world? Insufficient weight, metal detector. It shouldn't be that. Oh, wait. Yeah. Detective, I have need of one of your secret weapons. Yo? Roger that. The metal detector, if you would be so kind. Oh, jeez, I'm never gonna get to use my fishing rod. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, Gumshoe. This is the part that broke the emulator when we first streamed it. Before we get started, let me run you through how the metal detector works, sir. Simple enough. Uses this sound. And this gauge. Tell you how close you are to something made of metal. Closer you get, more strongly it'll react. When it starts getting wild like this, just give me the order to examine the spot where I'm standing. Say, what do we got here? Oh, the fence. Anyway, that's how it all works. We were struggling so bad. It was horrendous. You tell me where you want me to look, sir, and I'll get right on it. Gumshoe, you were the best. I'm sorry we did. So I don't know what it is, but I want to move Gumshoe around a lot. So I'm gonna make him do a lap first. Wait, can I look at Whistle? Detective, there will be time to chat later. We have an investigation to conduct. Yes, sir. Man. What the? Getting warmer, but it's still weak, sir. Sir, I'm picking up something over here. Take a little look-see, huh? Found these guys in the grass. They're the same as the weight we found by the well. They must be from Mr. Saint's trick. Did someone hide these here on purpose? Count 4 altogether, sir.
Maybe more than heavy enough to send him flying.
So somebody hid several of the same weights as the one by the well. But why? And why over here? Why did I think it was the apples? Yes, nice work, me. Good work, Gumshoe.
Alligator!
That thing nearly gave me a heart attack. Huh? What's the matter, detective? Metal detector, sir. It's reacting to the alligator.
What? How?
You're sure it's not responding to the weights we just found? No, sir. I'm sure this is something different. I'm sure it's coming from the alligator. And she's gone. Oh. A little laugh.
We scared that big snapper good. I don't think that's it, Kay. Huh? Then what is it? Allie hasn't been herself lately.
That's the name. Allie, the warden's favorite pet.
She wouldn't even look at the food warden the guard brought her yesterday. She was acting as if, I don't know, as if maybe she'd eaten something that didn't agree with her.
Maybe the metal detector was responding to whatever she ate, sir.
Oh no, what if she ate one of the weights?
I highly doubt that even an alligator could swallow a 30-pound lump of iron. So what did the metal detector actually pick up? And why would someone hide those weights? Perhaps I missed something when I looked at the equipment by the well. Okay, could you recreate the scene again? Ugh.
Coming right up.
This is such a way to do this. Oh, Missile. Good dog. Hippie. Oh. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Let's click on everything again. Or not. So we're allowed to deduce now. Could this be related to the evidence somehow? Oh, wait, no. Is it? Am I supposed to deduce the tarp? Eureka! Eureka! We are not supposed to present the tarp. I am not doing well, guys. You look. Here. Come on, sir, you gotta give us more than that. Yes. This contraption. If I'm not imagining things, it's missing something. It's missing... Is it missing? Very heavyweight, 3 pulleys and 2 lengths of rope. Okay, 3 pulleys is the problem. A 3-pulley problem, if you will. Herlock Shamsu. Could this be related to the evidence somehow? Eureka! Eureka! Are you kidding? Why? It's missing a pulley. Is that not the bit? Is that not the bit? Hold on. I swear the autoplay is also broken. I do not know how to fix that. Hold on. I must consult the tomes. Captive, turnabout. You're consulting the tomes. This is the only way. Okay, we got the metal detector. We got... No, that's not where I am. Yeah, we got to the metal detector part. We got the metal weights. Okay, so it is totally what I did. Consulting the tomes is caught on. It is totally what I did, but instead of on the pulleys, I had to do it here. Which I think is silly. Eureka! Think about the 2 recreations. The one during the performance and the one we're looking at right now. There's a major difference between the 2. Namely, that one of the ropes is missing. Are we ignoring the fact that one of the pulleys is also missing? Oh yeah. Mr. Saint's trick wouldn't work with only the items we see before us. So what happened? Where did the missing rope go? Did it say 3 pulleys and 2 ropes? Hold on. Damn, it does say 2 lengths of rope. Okay. I think one of the pieces of evidence we've collected. Pieces of evidence we've collected might tell us exactly that. Really?
What shows us where the missing rope went? What does show us where the missing rope went? Oh!
Take that!
This rope was found beside Knight's body.
Wait, you mean...
Yes, it must have been the other rope used in Mr. Saint's trick.
So you're saying...
Yes, that this rope did indeed have a weight attached to it. But it wasn't any of the iron weights we found. Those were hidden in the bushes and replaced with something else.
What was it, Mr. Edgeworth? Come on, I'm dying here.
Think about what the rope we found in the workshop was related to. Do that and you'll soon figure out the answer. The weight dropped down the well in place of the iron weights was... his body?
Take that!
It can only have been Knight's body that was dropped down the well. How did I forget this?
What? Mr. Knight's body was the weight?
That's horrifying. Yes, somebody first swapped out the weights used for Mr. Saint's trick. Then Mr. Saint used the contraption to make his exit from the stage. Yeet. When he let the rope around his body loose, both the rope and Knight's body fell to the bottom of the well. Good God. That rope was never used to restrain Knight. It was used to suspend his body halfway down the well. From this, we can easily see why most of the weights were hidden.
So that no one would realize they'd been replaced with the body.
Precisely. We can then further deduce that they were hidden by the killer. Whoa there, gang. Wasn't poor old Bronco stabbed in the neck? Wouldn't there be blood everywhere? Including down the well? Oh, the killer thought of that, which is why he used this. The tarp.
Take that!
This tarp was found with the body. I think it's likely that Knight's corpse was wrapped in it. Ooh, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. It's all coming together now. Love it.
But all we're proving is that the body did go down the well. Which means we're helping to prove that Simeon was the killer.
No, not quite.
But what about what Judge Gavelle said yesterday?
Ah, but if Mr. Saint is truly the killer, why would he need to go to such lengths to commit this crime?
That's true.
Knight's body fell down the well when Mr. Saint used his contraption during the show. Therefore, it reveals nothing about where the real killer actually was or what they were doing at the time. It's only designed to throw suspicion onto those who were not at the show.
Yeah, I guess we did suspect Mr. Canis right away, huh?
That was the killer's goal, to make us think that the crime took place during the show. In other words, they used the well contraption to construct an alibi. Miss Barry, when exactly did Mr. Saint put his contraption together?
It would have been the day before the show. The night before, actually. Yes, we started getting ready for the show at around 9 p.m. And I think we finished at around midnight?
In which case, the killer must have switched the weights out for the body after that point. Did Canis know about this contraption? Even if he did, he wouldn't have been able to do much with it. And I highly doubt that he taught his dog to suspend bodies halfway down wells. You don't know what his dog can do. Which means, Canis isn't the killer. Well, no, he's Canis. Okay, do we have brain cells now? Body used as weight. Basket of apples. Nope. We got nothing. Gumshoe doesn't have anything. You don't have anything. I think we're done over here.
Missile.
This pond is home to Warden Lagarde's beloved alligator.
And look, oh, this is the same dialogue again.
BB. Isaiah, we already got. What do I do next?
I don't know. Okay, hold on. Canis isn't the killer. Mr. Satan's trick was updated in the organizer. What does it say? Used during the show to send Saint flying. The weights were replaced by the victim's body by someone. Oh, Gumshoe. Mr. Edgeworth, I think I cracked the case, sir. What if the killer was an invisible man? Gumshoe, I love you so much. Go on. Well, the weapon came out of nowhere, and nobody knows how the body was moved. None of that makes sense, until you put an invisible man in the picture. Detective, don't tell me you think invisible people really exist. Who knows, sir? It'd be fun to see one through, huh? It'd be fun to see one, though, huh? What a winning idea. Perhaps we should make your assignment to Mr. Winner permanent from tomorrow. You gotta be kidding me. That kid probably still believes in Santa Claus. People in glass houses. Well, now what do we do? All he said was something charming and entertaining. This told me nothing. Okay. During the show, can we look? Anything? Damn. What do we do? Don't know what we're meant to do next. I don't remember. I'm consulting the tomes again. Wait, what? Did I fuck up? Hold on. Presented the body, presented the bloody tarp. Body. Did we get a new brain cell? We did get a new brain cell. Okay. The basket was moved the night before the circus performance, and we've deduced that the weights were switched out for the body at around the same time.
Hard to chalk that up to coincidence, huh?
Then the next question we should be asking is, why was the cart moved? I think I can hazard a guess. The cart would have been blocking that door, which can only mean
That somebody needed to open it.
sure.
Now let's see what's...
Oh, great, it's locked.
Let me ask a guard for help. Hey, Mr. Guard!
Yes, miss? What can I do for you? That was fast. Guard, where's the key for this door? Oh, the warden keeps hold of that. I'll go ask her for it. Warden Lagarde is the only one with a key. Meaning, if somebody did open the door, they would have had to get it from her somehow. Everybody should watch the investigation stage play because they do Little Thief, and there is a bit that they do with Little Thief that is, it's so good. It's so good. Little Thief acted out by real people is really funny.
Thanks for the help.
Look at all these breakers. They must control the electricity for the whole prison.
So we're thinking somebody got in here the night before the show, right?
This too is Nirvana Initiative.
But why? What were they trying to do?
Well, I doubt they came here by mistake thinking it was a break room. They must have come to tamper with the switches.
Did they turn the power off to something?
Come to think of it, wasn't there something that lost power?
What might have lost power had a breaker been flipped?
Doors, right?
Take that!
Ah yes, if this had lost power, there would have been serious trouble.
And how would that work exactly?
I fucked up. Don't let your preconceptions hold you back, Kay. You need to think outside of the box. That's the key to coming up with the ideas you never would have imagined otherwise.
Nice try, Mr. Edgeworth, but this one's a little too far out of the box.
Wasn't the answer. Power outage.
Is it the security gate? Security camera? Oh, right, it's the security camera, because the cut in power made the timestamp stupid.
There was a 3-hour gap in the security camera footage.
Oh yeah, there was. Somebody flipped the breaker it was connected to.
It seems very likely.
Do you think it was the killer?
It's true that shutting off the cameras would have made things easier for them.
It would.
Which means the killer would have to be someone who had access to the breakers. And it seems only one person has the key. Couldn't be, could it?
All right, little thief, your work here is done. Yay.
Oh, Missile, we're really in it now. Hi, Verity.
First on the scene, the early bird wins the worm.
Good morning, Mr. Winner.
Oh, you! How'd you get here before me?
Good morning, Mr. Edgeworth. I see you've made an early start. And I see you've made a late one, Judge Gavel. This is not my only case. I'm a very busy woman. Not all of us enjoy the freedom of a prosecutor relieved of his only current responsibility. Ugh. Oh, I do apologize. I meant, of course, an associate attorney.
Associate. More like asinine. Hey, you guys should watch the Asinine Attorney episodes of The Great Eastern.
We'll see about that. Eustace, let us begin investigation of the yard.
Okay. I'll go get some officers to help.
Get his ass, Gavel. That won't be necessary.
Why not?
We've already finished investigating the yard, and won quite the prize in the process.
One? But I'm supposed to be the winner. Oh my god.
Your Honor, I'd like to revisit your theory from yesterday, in order to thoroughly disprove it. I would caution you to choose your words carefully, Mr. Edgeworth. As I'm sure you remember, your badge is in my hands. How could I forget? You've told me several dozen times already. Perhaps you'd care to try a different threat.
Overruled.
You have been warned repeatedly, yes, and each time my words seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Allow me to make this crystal clear. The committee cannot and will not tolerate insubordination.
Objection!
Fate of my badge and the whims of the committee are of no concern to me now. The only thing that concerns me is proving Simeon Saint's innocence. Interesting. And spoken like a true defense attorney. In that case, I shall be equally uncompromising. In the name of the goddess of justice, I will strike down your case without mercy. And when I am done, your career as a prosecutor will be over as well. I hope you do not come to regret this. My theory remains the same as when I related it to you yesterday. Mr. Carcerado did not see Mr. Knight's body when he passed through the tunnel. As such, the body could only have been dropped down the well during the show. We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down there during the show was Mr. Saint. That's still your assertion? And you can prove it, of course.
Of course she can! Who do you think you're up against?
What Eustace means to say is that we received the final autopsy report just ahead of our arrival. She really is a very busy woman. Busy looking after baby Winner. Ooh. The victim appears to have died the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the night before the show. The cause of death is as stated. It seems the wound is 4 inches deep. Simeon Saint was off stage for a period of 15 minutes. That was plenty of time for him to throw the victim's body down the well. Judge Cavell hasn't investigated the yard yet, which means... I fear there may be something of a flaw within your theory, Your Honor. You seem very confident of that. But do you have any evidence to prove it? Yes, I think I just might. Ooh, okay. Mr. Carcerado didn't see his body.
No, go back.
Where do we have it? Is it here? Used during the show's sunsetting. The weights were replaced with the victim's body by someone. Press this.
Hold it!
Could you talk us through your reasoning on that a little more? The day before the performance, Mr. Knight borrowed the keys from Mr. Carcerado. Or more specifically, the key to his cell. Mr. Knight then used the key to leave his cell and enter Mr. Saint's cage. Heyo, he did what? Mr. Saint took Mr. Knight to the yard in that cage, and that's where he killed him. The following day, Mr. Carcerado crawled his way through the tunnel, but there was nobody there. There was no body there yet.
Wait a second, that doesn't add up. Mr. Carcerado smelled that sweet smell, so Mr. Knight must have been in the tunnel already.
No, his body did not pass through the tunnel until sometime after Mr. Carcerado had crawled through it. Mr. Carcerado used the tunnel right around the time the show was starting. The body was discovered just after the performance ended. From which you deduce that the body could only have been thrown down the well during the show. Yes, and who the culprit must be. The only one who could have dropped it down there. That's not the truth, but I don't know how to disprove it. Are you sure about that? Could nobody else have done it? I understand that Miss Barry was on stage for the entire performance. Most of the prisoners were watching the show. And those who were not have plausible alibis. But what about the guards? They too were watching the show, as was the warden. How can you be so sure? A guard could have easily approached the well unnoticed. None of the guards left their posts during the show. I have checked this for myself, you know. I took statements from each and every one of them. She's thorough, I'll give her that. Are you finally ready to accept the truth? That the killer could only have been Simeon Saint? Judge Cavell hasn't carried out a full investigation of the yard yet. Which means we've got the advantage for a change. I should review the evidence we gathered during our investigation of the yard.
I mean, I can try the breaker. I don't think that's right. And it wasn't. Oh, yeah, I see. Nope, that's still not right. Is it the other one? Is it the other statement?
Objection!
There we go.
Sorry, Your Honor, but there's something else you're going to have to take into account. The well in the yard was rigged up to create a certain unique contraption. A contraption. Go on. You will recall that Mr. Saint was sent flying from the stage by the elephant. I do. Just before he was to be absent for some time. He was only able to fly through the air thanks to a weighted rope he tied around himself. Dropping the weighted end down the well allowed him to complete the trick.
Objection!
Wait, wouldn't that send him flying as soon as he set foot on stage?
Hold it!
It's simple, really. He kept the weight from falling by using a stake to keep the rope in place. With a second rope, he was able to pull the stake free, thereby controlling when the weight was dropped. We have found evidence to suggest that the original weight was replaced with Knight's body. This was done by the real killer in order to create an alibi. The estimated time of death tells us that the murder took place early in the morning. The killer could have tampered with the contraption in the time between the murder and the show.
Objection!
You're saying Mr. Saint himself set this contraption up, right? Well then, who do you think is the number one most likely person to have used it to dispose of a body, Even you must see how odd this looks.
Objection!
If Mr. Saint was the killer, he could have simply done as Judge Gavel theorized, without these extra steps. Miss Barry,
Yes?
does anyone else know how Mr. Saint's trick works?
Well, let's see. We had to get the prison's approval on what we were going to perform. So I don't think Simeon's the only one who knows.
And there you have it.
Overruled!
Interesting. You have certainly been diligent in your investigation. And yet, I fail to comprehend your actions still. Why do you not work to do what is right? Is what I am doing wrong? If so, who is it that deems it so? How can you not grasp even that? How can you not see that you are doing wrong at this very moment? You are a prosecutor, and yet you aid the defense. This flies in the face of common sense. You are breaking every rule in the book. I think only of what is right and just. That's really good. I think only of what is right and just. And act as I see fit in each situation I am confronted with. This is the path I have chosen, and whether you can comprehend that choice is immaterial. But if you mean to stand in my way, I will fight back with all I can bring to bear. Perhaps the goddess of justice is testing me. Very well. If it is her will that we must fight, then I shall end this once and for all. Listen well, Mr. Edgeworth, for there is another reason why only Mr. Saint can be the killer. If the body was moved from the yard to the workshop, then Mr. Knight must have first been brought here to the yard from his cell. The only person who had the opportunity to do that is Simeon Saint. And thus, he remains the only plausible suspect. Mr. Saint took a cage with him to Mr. Knight's cell. But why would he do that? Why take such an unwieldy object all the way to the holding cells?
Yeah, it is pretty
You're kidding. You're kidding. Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god, I love you, Ace Attorney localization team. Oh my god. This cannot be real. Amogus. Oh my god. This was the best line in Ace Attorney ever, guys. Screw anything I said was the best line in Ace Attorney before this. It's this. It's this, guys. She would say that, exactly. She's Gen Z. She's like young Gen Z, too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is pretty sus.
What the hell are you saying? But we've all met Mr. Saint. That's exactly the kind of thing he would do. Yeah, it is pretty sus. Yeah, it is pretty sus. Oh my god. Oh, is she 2001? I thought she was younger. That does sound right, though, I think, because she's around Emma's age, and Emma, I think, is 2000, 2001. Oh my god. It's entirely plausible that he took the cage with him out of absent-mindedness and nothing else. It may be plausible, but it is no more or less plausible than him having helped Mr. Knight to escape. Ugh. I need some real solid evidence if I'm going to get her to budge. Okay. Body was moved, and Mr. Knight would have first been brought here. The only person who had the opportunity to do that, Simeon Saint. He remains the only plausible suspect. Ah, shit. Surely Mr. Saint isn't the only person who had the opportunity. I must have some evidence that can help break this deadlock.
Objection!
That wasn't right. That wasn't right at all. Go back. Doo-doo, doo-doo.
Objection!
No! I don't think I've ever gotten this many penalties ever in Ace Attorney.
Hold it!
You're certain nobody else had the opportunity. Need I remind you that we are in a prison? The entire facility is monitored at all times. Anything out of the ordinary would have been spotted.
Hold it!
But Mr. Saint was under that same scrutiny, was he not?
Overruled!
The warden has granted the members of the circus troupe special access. As a member of that troupe under the supervision of Miss Barry, he is the only person who is free to wander where he will.
Objection!
It seems you've forgotten something, Your Honor.
Overruled!
Forget is not a word in my vocabulary, Mr. Edgeworth. Very well, then recall this fact, if you will. You claim that Mr. Saint is the only person who was free to walk around the prison. But there was a brief period of time on the day of the crime in this prison. Time where it would have been possible for anyone to move through the prison entirely unmonitored. What do I have? We have the security camera footage, right?
Take that!
Mr. Saint is far from the only one who had the opportunity. Which opportunity are we talking about again? We'd previously established that the time code on the security footage was off by 3 hours. And from this we can deduce that there must have been a power outage lasting for that length of time, during which anyone could have moved around the prison undetected. You mean to say that our killer intentionally created this 3-hour gap? That it was no simple camera malfunction? Is that even possible? Oh yes, I think so. But it was completely possible to create the 3-hour gap using this.
Take that!
Our investigation of the yard turned up something rather interesting. A panel of breakers, one which can be used to cut the power to the security cameras. We also learned that the door to the power room may have been opened at the time of the murder. What? Such a shame. To see one so capable fall so short of the mark.
Mr. Edgeworth knows what he's doing.
Then how does he explain the lock on the power room door? Oh yeah, it was kind of locked up tight. And the warden's the only one with the key. Those breakers are vital to the prison's infrastructure. So I very much doubt that anyone could have gained access to the power room's key so easily.
Objection!
Unless... I don't know if we're going to bring it up here, but unless... We are going to bring it up here. No, But one person could have. I beg your pardon. That person, the killer, had easy access to it, in fact. And what's more, their position here is such that nobody would dare question them.
Objection!
What? There's no one like that. The breaker to the electric fence is in there. They would be questioned in an instant. Also, like, I am biased by the fact that Eustace's voice actor is, like, just a really neat person. But I love Eustace's voice in this. There's only one person who meets these criteria. I can hardly believe it myself. I have to follow where the logic leads. The person who had access to the power room key was...
Regina, no.
Sheila Long!
Take that!
I miss Long, I want him to come back. The real culprit is... Pork. Warden Lagarde.
Oh, just look at you. Aren't you the cutest little poochoo?
Hello, Liliana voice.
He's not just a pretty face. Missile also has quite the nose for sweet things.
He's not just a pretty face.
It seems he's smelling something very sweet indeed, and it's coming from you.
Oh, darling, you're making me blush. I'm not even wearing perfume.
Then perhaps it is the sweet stench of death.
What the actual fuck are you talking about? You are a regular poet, aren't you? I had no idea. But if I didn't know better, I'd almost think you were calling moi the killer.
That is precisely what I'm calling you.
What?
Warden Lagarde is the killer. Mr. Edgeworth, do you realize what you're saying?
Such a naughty boy. How could he suspect me, hmm? I'm the one in charge around here. It's like we're in a murder mystery, aren't we?
We are in a murder mystery. And equally far-fetched. This is preposterous.
Hold it!
Sadly, it is not. Although I can hardly believe it myself. But this is where the evidence points, and we must trust in the evidence. This piece of evidence proves that Warden Lagarde is the killer. Hello? Oh, I'm not quick on the window. Is this? The way I
Take
literally
that!
don't know. I was wrong! What? Smelled something on Warden Lagarde.
You're a hoot, Mr. Edgeworth, you really are. But we can dispense with the jokes now, huh?
This is no joke, Warden. You are the killer.
Really? Well, could you at least try and present some plausible evidence?
Smelled something sweet. We do not have the cake as a piece of evidence. What are we supposed to... It's not the body again, is it? I guess? I'm gonna double check, but... It is the body. What the hell?
Take that!
Your scent betrays you, Warden.
This too is Dragon Age.
And here is your accuser.
I like to think he's holding up Missile like a gun.
The police dog. We had him track a sweet scent that was lingering around Knight's body back when it was first found. He now appears to be smelling the same scent, and it's coming from you.
Darling, you're priceless. Really, you are. Your evidence is a whiff of suspicion? Verity, dear, do put him in his place.
Verity, dear. Hello.
It seems Judge Gabelle may have reached a similar conclusion to myself. You believe this to be no mere coincidence, Mr. Edgeworth? I do. After all, she had the key. And the scent found lingering on the body is hers as well. Were it just one or the other, we might be able to brush it off as coincidence. However... Indeed. Then it seems a conclusion approaches. Perhaps we should hear what the warden has to say for herself. We should. And when we have, this case will finally be at an end. You're all being simply awful. Stop looking at me like that. Me, the killer? How could I possibly do such a thing?
I didn't do it. What if I done it? How could you tell me that I was wrong?
Anyway, Verity told me everything she knows about the case, sweetie. The victim died in his cell, so by your logic, I would have had to have killed him there. But how am I supposed to have moved the body? Especially as I never went into the prison. I was too busy with work, you see. I was cooped up in my office until right before the show began. Check if you like. You won't find a record anywhere of my having entered or left the prison proper. I haven't the first idea what harebrained Albert mentioned theories you little scumps have cooked up, but I'm innocent. There's simply no way I could be the killer.
Give me a break. Missile doesn't lie. Don't make it hard on everyone and come clean.
Oh dear, I'm afraid you are the one making things difficult. As I just said, I never went into the prison. If you think I'm lying, go and check the records.
He clearly wants us to check those records, which means they won't help us. We'll just have to find another way of getting the truth out of her. That is such a set of words. Oh my god. Does the localization team know? Do they know? Do they know I love these words that they have written down? Oh my god. Words mean things.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, stop being a big silly. You've made a boo-boo and you know it.
Stop being a big silly, you made a big boo-boo. Okay. Wait, I just want to press this one for the sake of Yuri. Judge Gavel told you everything. Are you close?
Thick as thieves, darling. Why do you ask? Are you jealous?
Jealous? Of what? I had to ask Warden Lagarde for a lot of information on the first day of our investigation. It seemed only right that I share some information in return.
Oh, Verity, do you have to make it sound so awfully dry? I thought we had a lovely chat.
I simply shared the truth in our conversation. It was the least I could do. I'm not sure what's going on, but these two, terrifyingly formidable together. I have a pretty good idea what's going on, Schwartz. I have a pretty good idea what's going on. Okay. Oh, what the hell? Insane. Absolutely insane. Okay, I should press this first.
Hold it!
Do you have any evidence that you didn't enter the prison?
Please, darling, let me finish.
Okay, so it's not that one. It's the tunnel, right? We're trying to present the tunnel.
Hold it!
So you were in your office the whole time, and you didn't notice anything unusual?
No, I can't say that I did.
And you didn't notice anything missing?
I must confess, I'm a rather messy girl. And a forgetful one at that. I put something down and it's lost forever. It's a curse, darling, a curse. I even lost some important evidence recently. It was gone. Poof, just like that.
What? And she still has a job?
Honestly, if somebody came into my office and took something, it might be years before I noticed.
Ugh. Seems like I'll need more than the power room key to expose her.
On the day of the murder, I was working in my office. Oh, and looking for something I'd misplaced. Even if I'd had a reason to go into the prison, I simply wouldn't have had the time.
Hold it!
Sure, maybe you didn't go through the main entrance to the prison. But what if you took another route? Oh, come now, sweetie. Surely you don't mean that awful, filthy tunnel they discovered? Why, until yesterday, I had no idea it even existed. No, you had another way in, I'm certain of it. A route that didn't require going through the main entrance or the tunnel. Oh. The route you took went through this location. Her yard, right?
Take that!
Through the fence. Warden, you took Knight from his cell and brought him to your office, which just happens to be connected to the yard. If you had a way through the fence, then you would have been able to circumvent both the entrance and the tunnel. A gold star for creativity, darling. And how would I have gotten through the fence, The extremely high fence, topped with razor wire, with thousands of volts of electricity going through it.
Yeah, how's she supposed to have gotten through that,
The fence's electricity supply can be cut off from the power room. And only you had the key, Warden. No one else but you could have done it.
Overruled!
Utterly ridiculous. The power room is on the prison side of the yard. Warden Lagarde was on the detention center side. How would she even have reached the power room? Exactly, Verity, darling. Well, what? Okay. Well, Clever Puss, you've dug yourself a real hole now. If there is no record of Warden Lagarde having entered the prison proper, then the idea that she could have shut the fence off using the breaker is out of the question. There must be some way she could have done it. Take a deep breath, big guy. Lose your cool, and you've lost everything. But if I don't find a solution, she might still wriggle out of this. Hey, I said take a deep breath, not freak out and completely lose your cool. There's nothing to be gained by banging your head against the same wall, yeah? That's so nice. Like, actually, I really like how Fender balances out Miles in this particular case. 'Cause like, Fender compared to Edward's dad is like really young. But still, like that's a family friend. That's somebody who could be a mentor for Miles, especially when we know Von Karma was so bad, terrible for Edgeworth. Like I like how Fender is playing off of Miles in this and telling him to calm down when Edgeworth is just such a ball of anxiety. No matter how you look at it, Warden Lagarde couldn't have done it alone. Mr. Edgeworth, if you cannot find it... You aren't doing yourself any favors by obstructing justice with your silence. That was a reflexive objection. And now that I've yelled it, if I don't come up with an answer, it's all over. I have one more thing to add, if you'll permit me. Something that explains how the warden could have shut off the breaker from the wrong side of the fence. Yes, because it's not as impossible as it seems. What enabled her to shut off the breaker? I'm gonna check because I'm worried, but I think it's an accomplice. It was an accomplice. She couldn't have done it alone. But what if she wasn't alone? Ooh, now we're talking. Way to flex the old gray matter, kiddo. I believe that Warden Lagarde had an accomplice.
Overruled.
Enough. You disappoint me, Mr. Edgeworth. What do you mean? Mr. Edgeworth has said nothing wrong. The inmates of this prison are all issued with security bracelets.
The ones that raise the alarm if people go where they're not supposed to.
Ow! I see that you have realized your error. And here we are, of course, within the prison grounds. Where not only are the bracelets worn, but even the guards must surveil each other for signs of wrongdoing. And despite all that, no one noticed Mr. Carcerado's escape. The only ones who are free to roam are the animals. And they most certainly could not have operated the breaker. No. So our accomplice must be human.
Overruled.
Then who did it? Given that it cannot have been a prisoner or a guard.
Objection!
Then who pulled the trigger? The baby? I wouldn't be so quick as to rule that out either, Your Honor. The fact is, there is one person. Someone whose movements weren't restricted. And I have just the evidence to show who that free-roaming person was. The dead guy. No, I'm kidding.
Take that!
This is one of the prisoner's bracelets. Indeed, a broken bracelet belonging to a certain self-proclaimed model prisoner. What do you mean? And who is this prisoner? Frank saw it. Warden Lagarde's favorite inmate. It's strange, isn't it, Warden? That he was able to keep his broken bracelet hidden and wander freely around the prison all the while. That is pretty funky. I don't mean in a good way. Oh no! I don't know what this creature is supposed to be. What is it, like a ferret? A fox? It's licking her! It couldn't be the case that he was permitted some sort of special leeway, could it? Although you are in the habit of giving such leeway to certain others. Bodhidharma Canis, for example.
Overruled.
Mr. Edgeworth, that is pure speculation.
Objection!
In that case, why don't we ask Mr. Sawed himself? I'm confident he will confirm for us that he and Warden Lagarde were accomplices in this crime. If the two of them have worked together, a certain route into the prison becomes viable. The real route by which Knight was moved from his cell to the prison proper. Recall that there were two big obstacles in her path. First, the security camera outside Knight's cell. Second, the electrified fence in the yard. But she was able to remove both obstacles in one fell swoop, by having Mr. Sawit shut off the corresponding breakers. Alright, Mr. Edgeworth, who the fuck is doing fireworks right now? You've had your fun. Seriously, who's doing fireworks? They're so aggressive. And? Do you still deny it, Warden Lagarde? No, darling. You've got me, I admit it. Warden, tell me this isn't true. Sorry, Verity, honey. I'm afraid it is. Frankie helped me do it. No way!
Did it, Mr. Edgeworth, you got her!
Nice shooting, cowboy. She won't be wriggling out of this now. As Mr. Edgeworth said, I had Frankie switch off the breaker. But we didn't kill Knight, did we? No, sweetums, no we didn't. What? Warden, explain yourself. Oh, Verity, dear. I doubt your precious goddess will want to hear my excuses now. She is all-merciful. You have but to confess and you shall be saved. So it is Catholicism, okay. Oh gosh, alright. I was being threatened. I had no choice but to do as he said.
Who's he?
Bodhidharma Canis, that awful assassin. Canis? How long has it been since that awful man came here to my beautiful prison? I'll never forget the day he arrived. Oh my god. Why are there so many things exploding? It's been, okay, like that boom made my PNG go off. But also it like has not stopped. There have not been like
The exploding noises haven't stopped since. There are no breaks. I don't know if other people can hear that or not. What the fuck is happening? I'm gonna look out my window. I need to see if this is visible. Super isn't. What the hell?
The moment we were alone, he said this to me.
Oh, now they've stopped.
You should know that I have other dogs. Dogs not confined to this fine institution.
Others?
Yes, very loyal dogs. Dogs who will do anything I ask of them.
Of course, he wasn't talking about real dogs. He was talking about his very human cronies. Then he said one last thing.
I would recommend that you take care in how you treat me during my stay here. I wouldn't want to have to set my dogs on you or your precious family.
I can love Bodhi Dharma Candace. He's just fun. He's just fun, man. They decided to make a really cool serial killer for just this case.
I had no choice. I gave him that cell. I gave him everything he asked for.
Everything.
Wait,
Is that how he became the fixer?
yes, darling. I obeyed his every command and smuggled in for him all that he wanted. Ugh. Eventually, I brought dear, sweet Frankie into our little conspiracy. He agreed right away, of course, because I made things easier for him too.
So you were smuggling in contraband.
How exactly? Once a week, late at night, Frankie would shut off the breakers. That allowed me to go from my office into the yard without being seen by the cameras. Then I simply dropped the packages down the well on the prison side and made my way and went back through the fence. Each one of them spritzed with a little of my perfume.
So that's what the sweet smell was.
Yes, it was a signal for Canis's dog. When he picked up the scent, he would fetch the He would fetch the packages and brings them back to his master. The dog. We had to make sure Rocco wasn't in his cell at the time, of course.
It'd have been easy keeping him from finding out.
Oh, we're all very much creatures of habit here at the prison, darling. Everything runs to a schedule. Meals, exercise hours, that sort of thing. We knew when he wasn't there. And that adorable little bear of his freezes with fright at the sight of Canis's dog. Poor thing. So there was no risk of him raising the alarm either.
Oh my god, the explosions have started again. Why? She has oversight... What? Oh, she has oversight over everything here at the prison, which made her the perfect mule. With her on his side, Canis couldn't fail.
Frankie would sneak out again early in the morning to switch the breakers back on, and our work was done. Apart from fixing the timecodes on the cameras, which I would do later, when I got the chance.
You have shared a great deal, Warden. The goddess of justice will surely take your honesty into account.
Been the most dreadful fool. I know I have. I'm supposed to be the one in charge. The day of Knight's murder was also one of our delivery days. And so Frankie, bless his heart, did his usual work with the breakers. But there was no package for me to deliver that day, so I didn't go out into the yard.
So that's the secret behind the Fixer's system. And why she was...
The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend him a hand myself, you know. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with, He simply won't say a word. That's why you were interrogating Mr. Canis over and over. Exactly. I was trying to track down one of those awful, horrible hench people of his. I borrowed everything the police had on that rotten scoundrel. I watched his every move, intercepted every letter he wrote. His letters. And I suppose she must know about his correspondence chess games too. No matter what I did, I couldn't turn up any clues as to who his underlings were. Living in fear like this, you just can't comprehend it. As you have just heard for yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The words of Warden Lagarde's confessions have cleansed her of all suspicion. Surely there is no need to hound her any longer. Has she really been cleared of all suspicion, though? Or is there more about her to uncover?
There's definitely more.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Ooh, I dropped my fan. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but this conversation isn't over yet. And I think the Goddess of Justice would agree. Do you mean to make her suffer even more than she already has? Unfortunately, her suffering under Mr. Canis does nothing to prove her innocence in Knight's murder. She admitted herself that she knew of and even facilitated the so-called Fixer's delivery route. I believe she used that same route to move Knight's body. And where is your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth? It's in the fact that the sweet smell on Knight's body is the exact same scent Warden Lagarde uses to signal a delivery. What do you make of that? Well, that's because we've done it so many times by now that the whole Wells probably smells of it. Some of it must have just rubbed off on his body. It does match the statement that Mr. Carcerado provided. Smell. Yeah, always smell kind of nice down there. Nice? Gee, I don't know. Smelled sort of like dessert, I guess. His words would seem to suggest that the smell had permeated the well. Ugh. You've been rendered speechless, I see. Then I hereby move to adjourn this session of the court.
No! What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth?
What can I do? Is this as far as we go?
Finally! So we're actually done?
Yes, Eustace. It seems we are. By the power vested in me, this court is adjourned.
Hold it.
Who was that?
Come on, Judge G. Things are just getting good.
Fender. Are you objecting to my adjourning this session?
No. Would have shouted objection if I wanted to do that. You do you, G. Adjourn, don't adjourn, whatever floats your boat.
What are you doing, Mr. Fender?
Don't worry about what I'm doing. Let's all just take a chill pill, shall we? By which I mean a square of chocolatey goodness. Anyone?
Are you trying to get yourself charged with contempt of court?
No, my bad. I just had a quick request to make is all. As Simeon Saint's lawyer, that is.
Ah, yes. I had forgotten that you were his real attorney, Mr. Fender.
How could you? You're killing me here.
Can you blame us? You've been making Mr. Edgeworth do everything this whole time.
Right you are, which is why I figured it's time to put in some work.
Work, you say? Somehow I don't believe you've worked a day in your life.
Unnecessarily brutal. And let's say this is me doing some prep work for the upcoming trial. Mind if I question the witness?
No? Amusing, but what is there left to ask?
I got a feeling in my funny bone that Beefs here has something more to tell us about the killer.
Do I?
Yes, indeed. See, as a major player on Team Simeon, I can spot a sympathizer when I see one. And you don't think he did it, do you? So tell us, who did? Come on, spill the beans. We're all ears.
Mr. Edgeworth, what's he doing?
He's trying to coax Warden Lagarde into giving something away. Ask yourself, why would she go through all the trouble of sending Knight's body on such an odd journey? It's because she wanted to frame Mr. Canis.
She did? No way.
If he was convicted of committing murder here, that would have been grounds for a transfer to another prison. Most likely a more secure facility.
And where he'd be out of her hair forever, huh?
Precisely. She saw her opportunity and seized it.
No. Saint can't not be the killer. That's not fair. I was all ready to prosecute him.
I know, right? But maybe we should find out what she thinks first. Don't want to get the wrong guy, yeah?
Nice. Now Mr. Winter has to go along with it too.
Well, Warden, are you happy to testify further? Of course. How could I refuse this silver-tongued devil? Eddykins, you have such a way with words. Just doing my job, thief. Besides, one can't tell the truth without telling the whole truth, can one? I'm simply dying to tell all verity, darling. Do say you'll let me. As you wish. Court is unadjourned.
Can't believe you pulled that off, Mr. Fender.
Ooh, me either. Thank you for the timely intervention. Hey, it's the least I could do. Case not wrong. I've been leaning on you hard. And besides, the defense never rests. Am I right? Simeon's depending on us. Sadly, I think I just about exhausted my reserves of cool lawyer chat there. And we can't fuck this up now. Which means you're up to bat. Which means you're up to bat, Miles McSmiles. I missed it. Show him that never rest spirit. I shall.
Miles McSmiles.
Fabulous. Then let's get started.
I really don't think anyone could have done it but that dreadful man Canis. There's no telling what went on between him and the victim. Perhaps he simply took a disliking to him. He's certainly the type. But whatever the sordid details, it was him. He stabbed that poor man to death. Then he had his dog dispose of the body. It simply has to be what happened. The victim? Mr. Knight, yes? I did him the most terrible disservice.
Yes, you killed him.
I suppose you could put it that way. If I want such a sorry excuse for a warden, this never would have happened.
Let's do a Dragon Age.
And that's why I have to clean up this terrible mess.
This too is Dragon Age, I say, while keeping up a Liliana voice. Warden Lagarde, as ever, your honesty is truly to your credit. I am certain Mr. Knight is looking down and weeping tears of gratitude. Clearly never met Mr. Knight. Lies. Lies. I have correspondence chess.
Objection!
I fucked up. Are you kidding? Ah! Come on. Get through the dialogue. Here's doggy.
Hold it!
Knight was being kept in a holding cell while Mr. Canis was in the prison proper. What could possibly have happened between them when they were at opposite ends of the facility? The correspondence chest!
Prisons aren't as big as they seem, you know. All kinds of awful things can happen.
But Knight only arrived 2 days before he was murdered. Can't imagine anything significant happening in that short space of time.
Then you don't know Canis, my dear. He'd find a way, I'm sure of it.
Hey yo, hi Tubsec.
How could he take a disliking to somebody all the way over in the holding cell?
The correspondence chest.
Oh, I'm just plucking possibilities out of the air, darling. As I said, there's no telling what really went on between them.
The correspondence chest.
You're so awfully serious, aren't you? Not that I mind, of course.
Why is she looking at me like that?
So noble, so dashing in that marvelous suit. So clever. I can feel myself becoming your biggest fan, darling. I really can.
Oh!
Stay with me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Ugh. I wasn't prepared for that mental onslaught.
Hold it!
What more can you tell us about those sordid details? Well, we all know that Canis once did what Canis once did for a living. I doubt the killing part gave him much trouble. Especially as the victim was already injured. His neck, I think? Couldn't turn his head to the right, poor dear. That's what they told me when they brought him in, anyway. They must make some sort of report for the warden when new prisoners are admitted. You seem keen for us to think that you didn't know much about Knight.
I got the investigations. Not great. I've gotten a lot of penalties.
That's because I didn't, sweetie. And the victim was simply a fun target to that monster, nothing more. I expect Canis used the chisel that was hidden in that chest set, don't you? Awful grisly business. Just imagine. The man probably didn't even have time to cry out.
I see. Thank you for your thoughts. They were very helpful. Actually, I'd like to hear about them in a little more detail if you don't mind.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you're making me blush. I could chat with you all day. Oh, don't look so nervous, darling. I'm only teasing. Of course we can talk about them some more.
You're not supposed to know it was in the chest set, are you? Also, it was hidden in the dog's mouth, wasn't it?
Objection!
That's not right. That wasn't right. I'm not doing great, guys. Wrong answer dialogue. Let's go. Let's go. I know. Why is that where I have to press the... Did I press the wrong one first? Did I press the wrong one first? Hold on. Oh, I'm on the wrong part of the guide. Okay, I was on the right track. It's fine.
Objection!
Warden the guard. You strike me as being more careful than the image you project suggests.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, please call me Fifi. Or Sweetie Pie if you'll... if you prefer.
However, I think you might have been a little less careful than you realize in this instance.
Aren't you just the most adorable little creature? Don't be embarrassed. We're all family here.
Oh,
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't let her get inside your head.
you said earlier that you didn't know much about Knight. In which case, I find it rather strange that you know about the chisel.
Well, of course I do, darling. Do you think we don't check prisoners when they come in?
Objection!
Yeah. You're not talking your way out of this, Warden. That is entirely irrelevant, and you know it. Knight didn't bring the chess set into the prison himself. It was brought by Mr. Saint when he came to visit. That's not where I thought this was going. Knight wouldn't have had it with him when he arrived.
What? I mean, of course they... When Mr. Saint came in, we...
Objection!
You checked him. I find that hard to believe. Because if you did, that makes your story all the stranger. If you found the chisel, why did you not confiscate it there and then? Judge Gavel, did you tell anyone about the hidden compartment in the chess set? I did not. If no one leaked our findings, then how exactly did you learn about the chisel, Warden Lagarde? Because it certainly couldn't have been when you checked Knight or Mr. Saint on their arrival. Indeed. Such a thing would imply an intentional oversight if it had been found, yet let through. Precisely. So, Warden Lagarde, and answer truthfully this time. Where and when did you learn about the chess set? If you won't answer, then allow me. I submit that you...
Right, darling. There's no need to rub it in. You got me, all right? I question Knight. That was when I learned about the chess set. But please, you have to believe me. I did not kill him.
One moment, Warden. This is a significant development. The court requests that you make a detailed statement on the record. Any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? None, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, darlings. I'll clear up this awful misunderstanding, I promise.
Very well. Go ahead, Warden Lagarde. And please, tell the truth this time. Her lies are starting to wear thin. This is my chance to expose her.
I said I questioned Knight, but it wasn't anything serious, you understand. I make a point of talking to every newcomer to our little home. Knight was no different. We just had a little chat, you might call it. And after we talked, I had him taken back to his cell right away.
The more she lies, the more thoroughly she seals her fate. So it was simply a conversation with a new detainee. That seems entirely above board.
Exactly, Verity, darling. I knew you'd understand.
Objection!
Well, I don't. What proof do you have to back up your statement? I suppose we shall see, won't we? Mr. Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination.
Hold it!
If he had really gone back to his cell, he would still be alive today.
You really think I murdered the poor man right there in my office, don't you? But what would my motive have been, darling? I told you I barely knew him. I'm no angel. I have my grudges against Canis. But Knight had nothing to do with that animal.
She really does hate Canis. Warden Lagarde, I must insist that you append that statement to your testimony. Okay, now we're allowed to say the correspondence chest. Jesus.
Objection!
Judge Gavel, I'd like you to take a look at this. Notes about a game of chess. What is the significance? What is the significance of this, Mr. Edgeworth? It was found in Knight's cell, which is exactly where you said you saw it too, Warden Lagarde. But you didn't just see this game in Knight's cell, did you? You've seen it in Mr. Canis' cell too.
What do you mean?
Objection!
Now come now. Don't tell me you haven't taken a look at the chessboard in maximum security. I imagine you watch his every move like a hawk. Or rather, I imagine you feel that doing so is your only option.
If she wants to find out who his cronies are, right?
Personally interrogating your own prisoners is highly irregular, to say the least. But
Like that.
But as you said, Mr. Canis had threatened you. He put your precious home at risk. That's why you took it upon yourself to question him. You wanted to find out who his dogs were.
And so what if I did?
You also told us you read his letters, which means you must have known about one key fact. You knew he was playing correspondence chess. And then who should appear but Knight, carrying with him a diagram of a very particular game. We ourselves used that diagram to infer a connection between the two men. And it seems you came to the conclusion. Same conclusion. But in your fear, you took your reasoning one step further. You surmised that Knight was Mr. Canis's henchman sent to kill you. Which is the real reason she had that chat with the Bronxster. If his boss wouldn't crack, maybe he would. And when you questioned Knight, you made another discovery. But there inside his chess set, you found a hidden chisel.
The murder weapon itself.
As far as you were concerned, that chisel meant one thing. Canis. Thus you convinced yourself that Knight was working for Canis, and that is why you killed him. I see you have no more excuses. Judge Gavel, your verdict, please.
Much as it grieves me, there would appear to be little room for doubt.
I hereby give my verdict. Bronco Knight was murdered by... In the name of the goddess of justice, who is it this time? Oh, Jesus.
Warden. It's a joke. It's all one big stupid joke. You people just don't get it, do you?
I think we've proven that it is you who didn't understand things correctly.
Me? Please, darling. I understand it all perfectly well, thank you very much. And I understand that there's a glaring contradiction in your theory, Mr. Edgeworth.
You're just grasping at straws now. I have no time for this. Your Honor, the verdict.
Overruled.
I am curious to hear what the warden has to say.
What? You're a dull Verity. I just have one last thing to say. Then Mr. Edgeworth can declare himself the winner.
You rang?
I love the winner joke.
Does anybody remember a certain autopsy report?
Of course, we received the finalized version only this morning.
That's right. And I was listening to what you told us about it, Verity, even if nobody else was. You said the wound was 4 inches deep.
4 inches? Wait.
Riddle me this, Mr. Edgeworth. How does a tiny chisel make a 4-inch wound?
Oh. I'm gonna be real, I thought the chisel was large enough.
Forgive me, O goddess. I came perilously close to making a terrible mistake. Looks like your theory is the one that doesn't hold water, Edgeworth. What now,
Oh, what do we do?
It'll be fine. Mr. Edgeworth always comes through, right, sir? Looks to me like the Milesatron's out of commission.
The Milesatron!
You're an attorney too, aren't you? Why don't you do something? Turn things on their head with a desperate bluff. Blurt out the first mind-blowing thing that comes to you. Look, detective, I'm as much of a man of action as the next guy. But without evidence, we're up a creek without a paddle here. This might be the end of the road.
Milesatron.
We can't give up now. We have to do something.
I'm certain that Warden Lagarde is the killer. It's the only explanation that fits the facts of the case. But if the chisel wasn't the murder weapon, what other bladed weapon is there in this facility? It seems we still do not have all the answers, nor the evidence to provide those answers. Alas, we must wait until the trial to see this matter resolved, I'm afraid.
Objection!
Ah, come on, G. You're just giving the killer a chance to destroy the evidence.
Overruled.
Are you calling the judicial process into question, Mr. Fender?
No, not me. Nuh-uh. I tried, Miles. Any bright ideas? What is the real murder weapon, since it's clearly not the chisel? Found it. Confound it! This question throws everything we've deduced out the window. Nothing to add, Mr. Edgeworth? Allow me to remind you that claims not supported by sufficient evidence are subject to the harshest penalties. Loser! It's hopeless. I can't think of anything. I need more time. Loath as I am to admit it,
You can't give up now. Remember what Mr. Fender said. Simeon's counting on us. Without us, he's... Remember how upset he was? He was devastated. Nobody's in more pain than him over Mr. Knight's death. There's no way he did it. But if we can't save him, who will?
Kay, you are so good. You're so good.
And what's more, he believes in us. He's sitting in that cell waiting for us to bring him some good news. And I, for one, won't walk away until we have some.
Kay. Gee, Miles. Your little buddy there is quite the motivational speaker. And she's right, too. When you find yourself on the ropes, think of your client. Picture them pleading with you to help them. Doesn't that make you want to fight back as hard as you can until the very end? Think of your old man, good old Gregory. No matter how bad things looked, he'd always find a way to turn it around and save his client. And you're just like him, right? If there's any way to force a turnabout here, you're the one who'll find it. Simeon's counting on you.
I really like Fender in this case.
Judge Cavell.
You seem to have recovered your composure, Mr. Edgeworth. But if you mean to attempt a defense, I would advise you to consider the ramifications. You have repeatedly proposed misguided theories and made numerous false accusations. If you do so again, I will have no choice but to judge you unfit to serve as a prosecutor and relieve you of your badge for good. He's right. I have put forward a number of theories that proved to be flawed in one way or another. I made some sort of fundamental oversight. Wait. She said my theories were misguided. Nothing to say? Then the court will tolerate no more of your time wasting. I hereby... Sir!
Mr. Edgeworth,
Give my verdict. That's it. I've been thinking about it the wrong way all this time. My theories weren't misguided. I was being misled. The defendant, Simeon Saint. I think it's a little soon for that, Your Honor. I'd say it's well past due, darling. Wouldn't you agree, Verity? Mr. Edgeworth, you may proceed. What? I'd like to remind you of a few things. Sighting of his dog, Helmet, the fact that he wasn't at the show. These and other factors made Mr. Canis the obvious suspect at first. Once again, Mr. Edgeworth, you seem almost proud of your blunder.
Hold it!
But what if the real killer wanted us to suspect Mr. Canis? What if it was all carefully arranged? And what if the same was true of the chisel, a purported murder weapon? Knight had been stabbed multiple times in the same place with a bladed instrument. What if he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon had been removed? Just to leave traces of blood on it for us to find. That was how the killer misled us into thinking the chisel is the murder weapon. But why mislead us in this way? Why indeed? Why make us think that the chisel is the murder weapon, rather than whatever was really used? In order to get Kenneth transferred. Warden. You took advantage of what the chisel seemed to suggest. What it suggested? What are you talking about, darling?
Once again, this case is turned about ablaze again because we got the well thing, but also because we already established this part and we have to do it again for some reason.
Mr. Winner. If I were to tell you the murder weapon was a chisel, what would you think?
Huh?
That Mr. Canis is the killer? And there you have it. That was the trap the warden set for us.
Oh, Mr. Canis has a bunch of chisels, so she wanted us to think it was one of his, right?
Indeed. That was her plan right from the start. To frame Bodhidharma Canis. Your reasoning would appear to be sound. Warden Lagarde certainly seems to harbor a deep and abiding hatred for Mr. Canis. However, I think you know what I'm going to say next. That alone is not sufficient proof that Warden Lagarde is the killer. I knew that wouldn't be enough. There's only one thing that will prove it. The real murder weapon that we know... that we now know must exist. If you cannot prove your theory, then this conversation ends here.
Objection!
If we could just find the real murder weapon.
Objection!
How many times do we have to go over this? We searched the prison from top to bottom.
Eustace is quite correct. No other possible murder weapon has been found, so I'm afraid you're at a bit of an impasse.
Objection!
I can still prove my case yet, Your Honor, because it's still here inside this prison. This would have made sure of that.
Security gate?
I'm glad you at least remember what it is. And do you remember what it does?
Of course I do, I'm not an idiot. The security gate detects metal. Which means you can't bring anything metal into the prison or take it out. Oh!
Precisely. If there is another murder weapon, it cannot have been taken off the premises. But nor can it have been brought into the prison in the first place. And so we find ourselves right back where we began. Lord Gavel? What I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Edgeworth, is that if you wish me to believe that there is another murder weapon here in the prison, you will also have to explain to me how it got there. Alright? We know that the chisel was smuggled into the prison inside a pocket chess set. But our contention is that the chisel is not the real murder weapon. So if the weapon came from outside the facility, then there must have been a way to bring it in. Yes, the question of the hour is this. Can you show me this alternate route? Ugh. How did the weapon that Warden Lagarde use... What?
How did the weapon Warden Lagarde... Yes.
How did the weapon Warden Lagarde get into the prison? You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct? Why, yes, sweetie. Everything related to Canis is with me now. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. Of course. That's how. The fact that this is here with us shows us how a bladed object could have been brought into the facility as well.
Canis's knife. Yep.
Take that!
Allow me to remind you of our conversation with Mr. Canis yesterday. Yes, it was one of my bells. One of only 2 in existence. Just 2? 2 and only 2.
One for my knife, and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted, utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. And I must be able to use my tools precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife has long since been taken from me. So you see, there is a way for objects to be brought into the prison unscrutinized. As part of the evidence, where did I get Mr. from? Warden Lagarde borrowed from the police.
What?
Mr. Canis's knife was part of the evidence in the case against him, and that evidence was here in the prison. Not only that, but the knife had a certain bell attached to it.
The bell that was attached to the chisel.
Correct. The killer took the bell from the knife and attached it to the chisel.
That can't be right. Chisel only had Mr. Knight's fingerprints on it.
Easy enough to explain if the killer wore gloves. He made it look as if the chisel was the murder weapon and then attached the bell to it. In so doing, she made sure that all the evidence pointed to Mr. Canis. And who had access to the evidence from which the bell was taken? Why, only the person to whom it had been entrusted. Who was it, sir? Who's been messing with the evidence? I believe that would be you. Isn't that correct, Warden Lagarde?
Bells aren't exactly rare, you know. Anybody could have set that up.
Objection!
Unluckily for you, that isn't quite true. These particular bells are unique, because there are only 2 of them in existence.
What?
By attaching that bell to the chisel, you as good as declared yourself the killer.
But you don't have any proof that the knife was ever here to begin with.
Hold it!
I don't. Not yet, anyway. Mr. Winner, I'd like you to order another search of the prison right away.
Huh? If you do find something that's gonna make things awkward for me.
This isn't about what's convenient for you. We have to find the truth. You're a prosecutor, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but, you know.
Worthless excuse for a prosecutor. If I had investigative authority, I wouldn't be sitting on it.
Anyhow, it's not my decision to make. The warden would have to authorize it.
You know full well that she will do no such thing. You have the power to insist on a search. Use it.
Sorry, darling, but not without that evidence.
The goddess of justice cannot bestow her blessings on those who lack the proof to support their claims. Our work here is done. The rest of this matter will have to be settled in the courtroom. Oh, if we give Lagarde the opportunity, she'll destroy whatever evidence is left. I have to object. I have to stop them. What do I say? I don't have anything concrete to offer. What am I thinking? I'm never this reckless. No, I can't back down now. I've got to put everything on the line. I'm not a prosecutor right now. I'm an associate attorney with a client to defend. Only I can save Mr. Saint, and that means... even if my chances are 1,000,000 to 1, it's still worth a shot. Now or never. Should I object?
Nah.
No, I'm kidding. Let's object. I suppose this must be how a certain serial bluffer always feels. Anyway, regardless, I cannot walk away.
Objection!
Wait, Your Honor. This had better be good, Mr. Edgeworth. I've got it. Got... what, exactly? The real murder weapon, of course. I know where Mr. Canis's knife is.
Do you really, Mr. Edgeworth?
I do. Not at all. If I did not know any better, I would say that you were bluffing. Huh. You wound me, Your Honor. I don't know the meaning of the word. Oh, this is terrible for my heart. There's no way you could...
He's not here, I tell you.
Well, would you be so kind as to enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon? Think, Miles, think.
Somewhere not even the police would search. Blind spot in this zoo. Hiding place that the warden could be absolutely sure of. Hiding place? No. If you insist. Come on, Helmet. Open up. Look. Did she use the same trick? No, that's ridiculous. Isn't it? But the more I think about it, how many foolproof ways to evade detection could there be? Mr. Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting? There's the faintest possibility that I'm right. But if I'm wrong, we stand to lose everything. Your Honor, this is where the real murder weapon is hidden.
Take that!
Here, in the yard. Indeed. I don't believe I understand. Would you care to explain a little more? Where exactly is the real murder weapon hidden? Hello? Can I not? There we go.
Take that!
Of course. That's what it must have been. Huh? What's the matter, Detective? Metal detector, sir. It's reacting to the alligator.
What? How?
The metal detector was reacting to something inside her after all. Your Honor, I'd like to remind you of this piece of evidence. The chisel?
Didn't we just figure out that it isn't the murder weapon?
You might recall that Mr. Canis hid this chisel in the dog's mouth. Would you believe that the real murder weapon was hidden in much the same way? That's right. The murder weapon is hidden inside the alligator in that pond over there.
What?
No way! We detected the presence of a metallic object during our earlier investigation. Judge Gavel, we need to know what's inside that alligator. Only a few original sentences remain. Understood. Then we will need to summon a veterinarian.
I'm sure I could get the little sweetie to open up for us. I'd be happy to give it a try.
Please, by all means.
Hehe.
Warden Lagarde, the real murder weapon is about to be revealed. Why not do the right thing and confess?
I have nothing to confess.
As you wish. Then you can simply wait and watch as your lies are exposed. Sir, we got it!
This has to be it.
It's over, Fifi Lagarde. The real murder weapon was Bodhidharma Canis' knife, making you the only person who could have killed Bronco Knight.
I'm not the criminal here. This is all Canis is doing. I did the right thing. Knight was a threat. He was Canis' lapdog. Curse that despicable man, Canis. Why does he have to come and ruin my perfect little home? Could have been happy forever if it wasn't for him. He ruined my paradise on Earth. He ruined everything. Curse him. Curse that pitiless butcher. That awful, terrible man. Curse him! Yay!
I love her goofy. I love her goofy breakdown. Cinna, the funniest thing ever that you said was in the middle of this investigation. I hope it's all ferrets. I hope it's all weasels. And it was all weasels. It occurs to me that they're probably like minks or like some other like common. What is the other one? Stoats? Is that what I'm thinking of? Martins? Yeah, like a weasel type of animal.
Prosecutor Thwinner, sir. The test results have just come back.
Winner? I guess we've all been under a lot of stress.
Traces of Bronco Knight's blood were found on Mr. Canis's knife. It's just like you said, sir. Congratulations on a stunning victory. Thank you, officer. Excellent work. You can continue complimenting me if you like. Yes, sir. The winner wins again. I think I'm welling up a little.
With rage?
Thanks, Kagami.
Excellent work, Eustace.
Just a few loose ends to tie up and we're done. Huh? What are you talking about? I just solved the case, didn't I?
We have yet to confirm whether or not Knight really was working for Mr. Canis. It will be vital to know if Warden Lagarde was simply jumping to conclusions on that front.
Huh? Huh?
There's Clueless, and then there's you.
You're so mean to him. Well, then I guess we better get back to our investigation. All right, officer, you're with me. You're about to see the winner win a whole lot more. Prepare to witness first-rate investigative talent in action. Yes, sir. I'm right with you, sir. Can't wait to watch you at work. It's winning time! I love when Eustace Winter said it's winning time and won all over the place.
I love him. I expect this case will cause quite a stir. The attempted murder of a president is news enough, and now his would-be assassin has been murdered. But Knight never sought to kill the president in the first place. The truth is not always as important as it might seem, Mr. Edgeworth. In the eyes of both society and the law,
How can you even say that?
you do not have to believe me. However, as a prosecutor, Mr. Edgeworth is obliged to accept that accept that this is the reality of the world he operates in. Being a prosecutor is about more than proving people guilty. That's what I believe. We are all free to believe as we choose, but the law is not to be toyed with for our own personal goals. If you refuse to accept this, then you must prepare to suffer the consequences. What does that even mean? Wait, you're not gonna take his... I'm afraid I must be going now. Farewell, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh, gummy.
Judge Cavell is right. There must be only one set of laws for everyone. But if following the law means sacrificing the truth, then I really do that in good conscience.
Oh,
Simeon, you're out!
Congratulations.
Hi, Regina. Is everything all right? He did let you out, right?
Yeah. But I'm so confused about what's going on. Some guy just came and said I was free to go, and that I have Mr. Edgeworth to thank.
You sure do. Mr. Edgeworth found out who the real killer is.
Wow, really? You did that for me, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh no. No. Stop staring at me like that. I'm innocent, I swear. Don't pull the rug out from under me now.
Stop it, silly. It's true, he saved you. So say thanks already.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you.
And a great big Regina Perry thank you from me too.
Mr. Saint talking directly to me. Well, victories, I suppose.
Can I just ask one question, Mr. Attorney?
Sure. I'm not actually an attorney, though.
I thought Bronco was my friend. No, my best friend. I trusted him. Now... But now... Well, it's just... Never knew. Never would have believed that he could hate somebody enough to want to kill them. If he kept something like that from me, then he never really trusted me, did he?
It's not true, Simeon. Of course he trusted you.
No, he didn't. If he had, he just told me. I could have stopped him. I could have told him that hate never helps. That he had to let go of all that stuff. Mr. Saint, I think you're forgetting something. I should show him the thing that proves that Knight trusted him. This, right?
Take that!
It's the chess set I bought for him. Brought for him. Oops. Knight had hidden a chisel inside. I imagine he meant to use it to escape. What? You mean he was using me? No. He believed in you. He knew he could count on you to bring it, and that you would never be so untrusting as to look inside. I don't think that's as comforting as you think it is, Edward. I imagine by not telling you, he was hoping he could keep you from getting caught up in his mess. This too is the great ace attorney. Oh. Bronco! Why didn't you tell me?
At least you understand now, right, Simeon? I'm sure he does. He may not show it, but Simeon's no dummy. Good night's sleep and he'll be completely over this whole thing by tomorrow.
That's not as complimentary as you think it is. I'll try. I have to. For Bronco. I have to show him I can become the best animal trainer out there. That's the spirit. Monkey. Oh, I almost forgot. We're doing a new show soon. I'd love it if you could come, Mr. Edgeworth. Max Galactica mentioned. I'll be joining Regina on stage for this one.
That's right. The Very Big Circus is the biggest, most fabulous event in town. You'll have oodles of fun. Sounds great, doesn't it, Mr. Edgeworth? Come on, we have to go.
Well, I'll think about it.
All right, Simeon. We've got some training to do. I think it's time you and Regent got acquainted.
What? Regent the tiger? No way, I can't. No.
Oh, you'll be fine, silly. You'll never meet a nicer kitty cat.
I can't. Please, Regina, anything but that. Please. Another satisfied customer. Oh, that was really something, Smiles. Talk about pulling it out of the bag. I couldn't have done it without you, Fender. Without your timely intervention, she would have gotten away. Besides, I have you to thank for even being able to investigate the case in the first place. Ah, stop it. Pat me on the back harder and you're gonna make me blush. Or topple over. I suppose it would be asking too much for you to take this seriously. Seriously? Miles, my friend, I'm always serious. Anyway, how does it feel to save an innocent client? That's what it means to be an attorney, after all. Be an attorney. Gotta say, I had a blast. Reminded me of the good old days. Like Gregory was standing right here beside me. It's been like a zillion years since I felt this warm and fuzzy on the job. That's good? Bittersweet? I'm not sure. Say, Miles, you ever thought about going into the defense game full-time? Excuse me? You know, pick up where Gregory left off. Get out there and actually help people. Hey, pal, don't get any big ideas. Mr. Edgeworth ain't about to switch sides. Why not? Coming over to the light side's all the rage. Everybody's doing it these days.
Come on, Mr. Fender. You know it's not about that.
Chill, team, chill. Don't get it twisted. I was just asking a perfectly innocent question.
No, you weren't.
Heck, you were. Looks like you got a mean defense team there yourself, Miles. Fender, I am a prosecutor.
Yep, and I'm an attorney.
You could be one too. I'm serious.
Well, I said my piece.
You change your mind, you know who to call. I'll be waiting.
Bye, Eddie.
Follow in my father's footsteps. Could I really do such a thing?
Oh.
I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my dad.
Gregory!
I missed him. An attorney like my father. Me.
Thanks, Nightbot. Word. Yes, I would like to save. Where?
Oh my god, Turnabout Legacy is next already? Yeah, I guess that is right. Damn. Man.
Anyway. I'd save really quick one more time.
About Legacy.
Ooh. Wait, no, go back. Ooh, Gregory. Okay. Much shorter stream than last time, but I think I'm going to leave it off on that so that we can start Turnabout Legacy next week. Man, oh man. Man. Okay. Nightbot finally kicked in, so I'm going to do my spiel with Nightbot. If you're not already a part of it, you should join my Discord community server. You can yap about games like this one with me. Other things you can do, I have a wish list. I don't know what's on it. You can support me by buying games off of my Nexus store. For example, this game. I get a cut of the profits, and you get the game. It is a win-win situation. Also, if you are in my Discord server, you can request different games for me to put up there. Capcom titles do get priority, but I can also put up some non-Capcom titles if you would like. Yeah, just talk to me in my Discord server. I can do that for you. Currently on my Nexus store should be every Ace Attorney game, I think, at this point. Great Ace Attorney, the Ace Attorney Trilogy, the Apollo Justice Trilogy, Investigations Collection, Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. Everybody should play Ghost Trick. I think you can also, I don't remember if I put it up on the store, but you can now buy every mainline Ace Attorney game in like one bundle, and it's called the Ace Attorney Anthology. So you can get all 6 of them, I believe. The Devil May Cry HD trilogy is also on there, I believe. Yeah. Anyway, in addition to that, my latest VOD, that might not be my latest VOD, but I do have 2 VODs up today that are new. The most recent, there's like one more VOD that I need to put up, and I don't remember which game it is. But there's an Ace Attorney Investigations VOD up, and there is also a Tyrion Cuthbert VOD up. Speaking of Tyrion Cuthbert, I will be back on stream tomorrow, streaming Tyrion Cuthbert, Attorney of the Arcane. Same time, 7 p.m. CST. I keep saying CST. Are we technically in CDT now? I don't remember which letter goes with which direction for daylight savings. Central time. Anyway, in addition to my VOD channel, I also have a main YouTube channel. You can currently check out my latest cover, which is Loneliness Loop from Yakuza 5. I did a full set of English trans lyrics for it, and I'm very proud of them. So you should check out my Yakuza 5 cover. I think that is it for today. Oh, no, there's one more thing. The Ace Attorney cosplay collage. I am doing a big giant Ace Attorney cosplay collage. We currently have around 70 entries, but I know like 100 people responded to the interest check. So if you would like to be a part of one big giant Ace Attorney cosplay collage, could be a new cosplay, could be an old cosplay, whatever you want, as long as it is an Ace Attorney cosplay, you can submit it to a Google form that is on all of my social media, and we'll put it in a big giant collage. Yeah, you have until Sunday to do that. So make sure to get your photos in now. There's also more information on that in my Discord server if you need. Anyway, now that's all the things. I will see you guys tomorrow for more Tyrion Cuthbert. And next week for Turnabout Legacy. Wait, let me go back to the main menu so we can play out at least a little bit of good. Oh, no, it's not playing. Tragedy. I meant the menu theme. The menu theme slaps. Anyway, well, I have cool music of my own. It's fine. We don't need the cool menu theme. I'll see y'all tomorrow night or next week. Good night, everybody. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Are any of my friends still live? Hold on. I got this. Let me double check if any of my friends are still live first. Woo. Ooh, all is out there. Is it nobody again? Did I miss everyone? Okay, then yeah. Good night for real. We will simply have to have chill beats to play us out. Good night, everybody.